A very, very special edition of Riley Friday. Welcome to Sleepers Media daily episodes, Friday, March 14th. I am your host today, Carter Elliott. I am here with the one and only, the man that makes Riley Fridays, Riley Davis. We are taking over today. Our good friend, our good brethren, Gregory, is honestly, when this episode releases, his wife might be in labor, but he's currently at her last appointment, and they are, getting all that situated. So, of course, we step up in this situation and we take over and we make it happen. Riley, how you doing, my good sir? I have to ask you because I think the people who watch Riley Fridays know your setup. You are not at home, I believe.
No, I'm not. I am in the panhandle of Florida right now. We're about an hour away from PCB. I think I've talked about this plenty of times on the program before, but I work full-time job in college ministry. Did a trip with some students down here, so we've been here for the week. Just enjoying some beach time, enjoying some, connection and community, things of that nature. A little bit of spiritual content, of course. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been kind of in my bag with these devotions I've been giving out, little quiet time prompts through the book of Philippians, so that's been fun. But yeah, man, you kind of buried the lead at the top talking about Greg's child. Isn't at the time of this is being posted, Leon's 6 months old.
Leon is 6 months old. He's 6 months old today as we were recording this. Listen, as much as I like to joke about the adversity that I will be pushing upon my son, I got a video sent to me yesterday, like a snap, I think it was a Snapchat memory, from 6 months ago. And I kid you not, he was like the size of barely my forearm. And the fact now that I'm holding him, I'm like, damn, man, like my shoulder's getting all sore. I'm like, I'm going a couple hours. I'm like, boy, you're eating good, eating squash, eating avocado. Not an avocado guy. Want to throw that
Really?
out there? Yeah, he didn't rock with it.
Okay, I was gonna ask because I know you said earlier in the week he started his journey on solids. Avocado was something that Theo loved immediately and like made a huge mess with it. But what all has Leon been eating as he's been getting introduced to the solid foods?
Yeah, so I guess like, and I don't know if this is a thing you're supposed to do, but I guess like you choose a food, you do 3 days of that food just in case like they don't react well to it or something like that. So we started off with squash. He loved that. He was pounding squash, got it, a little pureed it, put a little breast milk in
Hmm.
it as well, you know what I'm saying? A little freak it a little bit. He was loving that. Threw it on the little grippy spoon. Kid
Hmm.
was absolutely locked in, like ate a whole bowl. Avocado, like he was not sure about. He kept making the nasty face. He wasn't
Hmm.
really feeling it, which, look, I understand. I prefer my avocado in guacamole form. Unfortunately, he can't have that. But when the time does come, him and I will enjoy a nice margarita and some real fresh tableside guacamole, I might add. Riley, why do I feel like you're a tableside guacamole guy?
I'm a huge table side guac guy. 10 times out of 10, if that's offered to me at a Mexican restaurant, yes, I'm taking it. And of course, in keeping with good Bluffs fashion, I leave a good tip. I make sure that my table side guacamole prepare my chef, so to speak, that they leave here with something. Not just I don't just expect that service and to not be compensated. So um I feel like Cart, you and I, next time we're together in person, we need to find one of those Mexican restaurants that has the pictures of the food on the menu that come out, bring you the plate that's like the size of your head. Those are
Yeah.
the best kind. Great tableside guac. Every once in a while, I need that like once or twice a year. Just one of those like big greasy Mexican plates of Mexican food.
Oh, it's so because I feel like now we're going off, but we got to talk about this now. There's been like this transition towards like nicer Mexicans, like,
Hmm.
places that don't give you chips and salsa complimentary. Like sometimes you need to go back to your roots. I'm talking about the Mexican places with the margarita glasses that are really big and like blue rims at the
Yes.
top.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes you got to dip into those, and that man, it hits every time. A nice little plate of Mexican food. Now I'm starving, so I think we need to get to the YouTube comment of the day before I just start going off on a tangent about more foods that I have. Also, shout out to you, Riley, and your job. You take your students to some nice places. Like I went on some student trips when I was in college, and they like took us to, no disrespect, they took us to like Columbus. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys are going to like the beach and stuff.
We hooked them up with some nice beach houses too. So I mean, low key, we charge them a little something, something, but we covered a lot of it, like out of our out of the campus account and everything. So of course, yeah, we have a lot of people who donate to crew at UNC. So I gotta express gratitude to all of them. But yeah, it's been a good trip so far.
Yeah, especially because you got to watch Jalen Withers turn into Nas Reed. That had to
That
feel.
was crazy, dude. The Jalen Withers Wit Sanity run has been the most unexpected, mildly entertaining Carolina basketball development of my fandom. Like this was a dude who I truly was like, this guy's gonna go down as one of my least favorite players at Carolina of all time. Then he turned in, yeah, he really did turn into Nas Reed for like the past 6 weeks, and he's like been a ton of fun to watch. Year six breakout. It's crazy that like this is literally his 6 year of college basketball, and he's found his role. He's not trying to dribble, not trying to do too much anymore, and like he's a very valuable player when he's knocking down pick and pop threes and corner threes. So
Yeah, I have a theory that, and I think UNC is in the tournament. But there is a very real possibility that Jalen Withers goes on a Brady Manic-esque run. Don't know if that what that will mean because part of it, like UNC was really good, but Brady Manic added a lot to that team. But you know what? At this point, I'm not gonna doubt Jalen Reed, Naz Withers, as I like to refer to him as now on. He was strapping them boys yesterday.
dude, do you ever, okay, when you're watching him, this is like I think I've said this before on like previews and recaps, but I swear he shoots the ball so casually. He shoots the ball like someone who just got to the court and has just put his shoes on for pickup runs. And he's a little bit late to getting warm, and it's like he steps on the court. He's like, "All right, someone, like, hey, let me see that thing. Let me get a couple shots up." He shoots like that every single time, like he's just warming up, but it's been going in. It's so I like. It's just
It,
it
it,
kind of
no,
adds to the mystique of it.
it does. Also, one of the special things about it is that if somebody watched them for the first time yesterday, they are like, I want my NBA team to draft Jalen Withers.
I
Like that's what
know.
like, oh, this what a athletic stretch, like four-ish guy. Like this would be perfect. I could see him being there. God, you gotta love college basketball sometimes. You truly, truly, truly do. Let's get to the YouTube comment where we are compliant as all compliancy people are. Let's go with this one. Greg, has anyone ever told you you look like Ted Lasso? So I asked this one because Riley, a lot of people give Greg comps. I've heard Jason Sudeikis. I heard Mr. Beast. Who is the comp for Greg? Do you have one that people have not brought up before?
Wait, who is Ted Lasso played by again? Is that
Isn't
is
it?
that Jason Sudeikis?
I think it is Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah, it is Jason Sudeikis. I
Yeah.
think that's probably the most accurate one. I don't really see the Mr. Beast resemblance that much.
Hmm.
Mm,
Who's your comp that people give you?
heard Eli Manning before.
I'll see Eli Manning.
I've heard Drake Bell before, which I don't which considering his some of his allegations, I
Okay,
don't know
so
how I feel
outside of the
about that one.
allegations, there are some Drake Bell resemblances, I will.
I can see it a little bit. I feel like there's one other one I'm forgetting that I've heard several times.
If you rocked curly hair, you would look like the dude from Boy Meets World.
As in Corey,
Yeah, yeah, Corey.
Ben Savage.
Yeah. Actually, let me pull up a recent pic. When's the last time I watched Boy Meets World? Let me confirm this before I just throw this out here like this.
I guess I can see it a little bit. Yeah, if
Ah,
you just look from like the
not as much. Also, like Ben Savage looks the exact same as he did in Boy Meets World.
yeah, he really does.
That's
Were you
crazy.
ever were you ever a Mick Jenkins fan?
I couldn't even tell you who Mick Jenkins is.
Never mind. He's a Chicago rapper.
Uh,
But he had one bar. This is like from 2015, where it's like since Boy Meets World, I've been savage.
all right, that is pretty fire. Also, is he a Chance the Rapper like disciple or something?
No, he's kind of I would compare him to he's kind of in like that like he did a bunch of songs with like Vic Mensa, Saba, like that type of music.
Dog, I had a Vic Mensa phase that was massive for a minute.
Yeah,
That dude could really
he
rap.
could, he really could. Yeah.
He could really really rap.
Freddie Gibbs, I would say like Mick Jenkins has like some Freddie Gibbs type vibes to
Okay.
him. Yeah, he's done music with him too.
Freddie Gibbs has been in the news for all the wrong reasons, but we won't get into that. We will get to the Discord comments today. Everyone, join the Discord, support myself, support Riley, support all the hardworking people who give you this content over here at Sleepers Media. We do this for y'all, we do this for the people. And one of the best ways to keep that going right now is supporting us by joining the Discord. Shout out to the new people who have joined the Discord. We have seen a flurry of people coming in. And one of the main things that you get by joining the Discord is that you for sure get your comment read for the most part. As long as I don't skip it, you get your comment read. I've been trying, guys. I've really been trying. I promise you I have. So let's see where we are at here. We did your Serbian boiler. We did that. Okay, I think we will start here. Matt F says, with MSU being the 2 seed and being in the same side of the bracket as Auburn in most projected brackets, if both teams meet in the Elite Eight, is that the most psychotic, shit-talking, possible blood on the floor game in this year's tournament?
Can you read that hypothetical one more time?
So if MSU's the 2 seed, they're in the
Uh-huh.
same side of the bracket as Auburn. So in most of the projected brackets. So if those teams meet in the Elite Eight, is that the most psychotic, shit-talking, blood on the floor game in this year's tournament?
I don't think of like with Auburn, it's really just Chad Baker Mazzara, isn't it? Like the psycho side.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe like Tahad has a little bit of that to him too. Who is like really talking that talk on Michigan State? Who's
I
like their
mean,
big time trash talker?
Holloman is always talking trash. Fears definitely talks trash. Jace Richardson has now adopted trash talking to his game, so that warms my heart surely. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like who else in college basketball is really big time just chirpers. Like
I
Auburn, of
mean,
course, Auburn does chirp. I will say that. Honestly, underrated chirp team, Ole Miss.
yeah, I could see that.
Ole Miss chirps. So honestly, SEC teams, I feel like you just gotta chirp. But yeah, I think that's a good shout for it would be a psychotic matchup for sure, but I want to go ahead and get ahead of something right now. I don't want to see Auburn. Don't I'd rather not.
I don't want you to see Auburn either. No,
Yeah.
that's that's
I'd rather not because as psychotic as that's going to be, Janai Broom's on the other team. So please no. I Maynor, happy Riley Fridays. Greg, in a short, you said you were considering becoming a permanent Duke fan. Care to elaborate? Riley, since he's not here, I'll ask you this. How will your relationship be hindered if Greg goes full brotherhood on you?
there's part of me that would want to disown him as a friend, but I do have friends that are Duke fans. But like that would definitely be like you can't just hop into that. I need to like to become a Duke fan in your early 30s is truly insane behavior to where like I think that would be grounds for like terminating a friendship. I also am worried because if I am honest, Greg is great at like debating, arguing, selling you on his points. And I'm afraid he would have me in mental hell if he was a fan of my biggest op, like on a pretty much weekly basis.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, especially because, like, right now, as not a Duke fan, he is chirping UNC. If he went full
Yes.
brotherhood, it would go to another level. As a person, I know you talk to Greg a lot, but obviously, I literally have talked to Greg like 590 straight days, like with no breaks, which I love, by the way, and I'm honored to do so. When he identifies you as an op, as the kids like to say, it's not a fun side to be on. It
I
is
agree.
truly not a fun side to be on. So
I'm
maybe
trying to
just
think if
kind
I
of
need to break out a Greg impersonation as a Duke fan.
if you can right now, I'm 100% welcoming that.
My baby Blue Devils, year two Cooper Flag. You're telling me I'm not supposed to cheer for year two Cooper Flag? I'm not supposed to be out here for John Shire?
The mannerisms were on point there. Truly, like that was really good. I hope Greg actually listens to this and hears that because that we're gonna have to make sure we send that to it. Oh, yeah. War chant. Um, Schools fans victory lapping Epps airball and Georgetown's loss to DePaul. Not really a fan of victory lapping in general, but hard not to. You know your rebuild is not going well when you lose to DePaul 3 times in a season. That's crazy. I didn't even realize that Georgetown has lost to DePaul 3 times this year.
Yeah. I didn't realize that either until this morning when I saw a Kevin Sweeney tweet about it.
That's insane.
This was the dude that Providence fans were like staging boycotts and protests outside the arena for losing, that he left them. Man went to one Sweet 16 in 20 years.
Yeah, people forget that.
He did give us Chris Dunn. That Chris Dunn, Ben Bentil pick and pop duo was special. I was convinced Chris Dunn was going to be a multi-time All-Star. Uh, very wrong on that. But like aside from that, what did Ed Cooley do for Providence?
Not much to be honest with you. And look, I understand it. I semi understand it. I can't wrap my head around the fact that this team lost to DePaul 3 times this year. But I guess to get this question answered, Riley, where do you stand on victory lapping like former players that have left your school? Like, are you out here preying on Tyler Nichols' downfall?
No, I'm preying on my coach's downfall for not prioritizing keeping him, for getting Cade Tyson instead 2 years later. Like, come on. That's not Tyler's fault. Uh, I think, like, I don't know, when Walker Kessler left UNC in the manner that he did, where it was like, oh, I'm coming, he was like a silent commit to Hubert, like, because it was the same summer Hubert took the job. It's like, oh, Kessler's actually withdrawing from the transfer portal. The next thing I knew, he was committing to Auburn. Like, I definitely was not happy and was not really wanting him to succeed, but time heals all wounds. I don't really hold any ill will toward him or no ill will toward Caleb Love or anything. So
Okay. Yeah.
sometimes if I like the player, I'll cheer for them at their next stop. Like I want Puff Johnson to succeed at Penn State, but I think that that ship has already sailed. Things like that.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not one to just like be like, oh yeah, I'm so happy for the guy that left. All situations are different though. Like
Yeah.
I look at Pierre Brooks and like even like Rocket Watts and stuff like that. Even to agree, even though people don't believe me, like I like to laugh at it when it happens, but like AJ Hogarth being good at Vandy does not affect me whatsoever with how Michigan State is playing this year. Marty's actually had some moments for Cal, so look, I really don't have any ill will about it. If it was a nasty breakup somewhat, like let's say Cormac Christie didn't go to the draft and transferred somewhere, I'm buying season tickets to his next school courtside and I'm booing him constantly until they boot me from the game. Like that's just how I operate. Uh fam 33. Happy Bluffs Friday. Y'all know how we rock. As we prep for tourney time, what's your preferred method for watching games? I need food, environment, beverages, etc., the whole 9 yards. Any unique traditions?
Hmm. It's a great question as usual. Man, my favorite time I like the preferred method for that first day of the tournament, that Thursday and Friday, is to make sure I got two TVs going, and a third laptop if we want to. I've never done more than two TVs. Like maybe that's
What?
a modest setup, but yeah, maybe I need to go full send and get find a way to have four TVs going. Have some friends over, some pizza going. Usually like to take. I will say I do take like a either late afternoon, early evening break, like go for a walk as a little palate cleanser or something. Maybe the next morning try to get a good workout in or a hike just to make sure I'm not like only sitting on the couch the whole weekend.
Mm.
But yeah, aside from that, just anytime I can have some friends over who are like equally as locked in as me to watch the game, eat some pizza, always a good time.
Yeah,
And of
and
course, I
that
gotta have some IPAs there too.
of course, I mean that's a given. For the first days, especially, I need to be in my home setting with I'll like you said, like order a pizza, have some drinks, have the TV set up, be all good to go, have everything handled so I don't really got to worry about anything. If I can, I will try to get like some type of physical activity before the game start because I'm not moving once the game start. And then, I'm simple about it. I can't I'm not I don't judge people that like go somewhere to watch the games. Like you go to a bar, you go to like a sports bar or something like that. I need to be in my zone and comfortable as I'm locking in. And I can control the controllables in my household. I can't control the controllables at a sports bar all the time. But good
Mm-hmm.
question, fam. Appreciate you. You said pizza's the food of choice, Riley? Why do I feel like you chef up something? Like there's an appetizer involved.
Yeah, I mean sometimes like I make a pretty good buffalo chicken dip. I make pretty good wings in general. I've said before, maybe I need to do that this weekend is break out the grill and do some grilled wings. That's one of my specialties. So if I want
Grilled.
to chef something up.
What's the weather like in North Carolina? We breaking out the grill soon?
Yeah, I mean it's been like in the 70s this week, so hopefully that carries on into next.
Must be nice. UConn 99. This is my lame attempt at a Malik Flurry. One, I am so happy that UConn did not go to the Big 12 this year and has to play on that tournament court. Have you seen that one? Have you seen one that was ever worse? I'm in the minority here. I kind of like the Big 12 floor.
Um, I don't know if I liked it, but now that you like it, Carter, I feel like for the sake of the bit, I gotta like it too.
I mean, I kind of like it. Gives me the vibes of like the Jordan Brand Classic games, which I just
Hmm.
like those courts. And I'm fine being in the minority there.
For sure.
This is not to troll Greg, but I'm really curious on his feelings of Terrace being named Big East Sixth Man of the Year. I'll step in for Greg here. Um, that's quite the accomplishment for Terrace. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and put my Greg hat on here though. Really, Sixth Man of the Year because earlier in the year, UConn fans told me that he was going to be the best starting center in the Big East and that Dan Hurley was going to bring him in and get the best out of Terrace Reed. But it's good to know that they sung the praises of the sixth man of the year in one of the worst Big East that I've seen in my lifetime. But congrats to Terrace Reed. Congrats to him. Uh,
Pretty good impersonation. I would say if you could have worked in, this facial expression when he gets really emphatic, that would have taken it from like an A minus to a full on A. But yeah, you're getting there, Cart.
Yeah, or you hit the Greg Waddell, which I like to refer to as this. It's chair back, lean up to camera. Who do you think you're talking to? Like that is my favorite Greg Waddell ism. Greg's gonna hate this episode when he listens to it, but you left me and Riley alone. That's what happens. Hurley was interviewed at the Big East Awards night and said how many of his teams in the prior 2 years were also contacted by other schools about portaling prior to the official open. Do you think they could make it where you can only portal once in your 4 years? End of flurry. No.
That box has been open. It's not getting closed again.
Yeah, not that now that it's been to this point, it's not it's just not happening. No chance. Um AJ Storr, oh sorry, Burner 605. AJ Storr just played his best game as a Jayhawk in the Big 12 tournament against UCF. He was just saving it for the postseason all along. Did you see that game, Riley? It was a really good basketball game.
I actually did not. I was doing ACC recaps with Ralph, and sadly had Clemson and not Clemson, SMU and Syracuse finishing up in the background. Just a
Shout out to Eddie Lampkin, man. What a
That game
career.
did not end. That was like the longest blowout win. Like I just don't know how those teams kept extending it anyway. But I just saw the final score. I might need to go back and tap into some highlights. What did Store do?
Yeah, well, so Storr basically he had his best game as a Jayhawk. I think he had like 17 points, and they needed it because
Hmm.
Rylan Griffin and DeJuan Harris got cardio all game, like legit cardio. And they needed all of AJ Storr, and it was good to see him because they had to step up. And UCF battled in that basketball game, had some chances to win it late, and weren't able to pull it off, but ended up being a really good game that kept me up to like 3 a.m. too, by the way, because I had to wait to recap the Rutgers and USC game, which, for the love of God, just finished that in regulation. And then I had to wait again for the recap because the Kansas game went in overtime. So, gotta love conference tournament week. But yeah, shout out to AJ Storr um, and his next destination, whatever it might be. Jew Bowie. Good to be back in the Discord for March. Since my team is screwed, I've decided I'm a Michigan State fan now. Also, not expecting a Northwestern Minnesota recap with both of you on it. Posted the day of the game. Y'all work ethic is crazy. Shout out to Martinelli. Happy Riley Friday. Uh, Jew, let me extend a Northwestern olive branch to you. You should feel good about Northwestern hoops. Actually, I think I do. I bring this up every time we talk about Northwestern, but you're getting Martinelli back. Um, you can have other pieces coming back on the team. I'm the biggest KJ Wyndham guy of all time. I love this Northwestern recruiting class. I think it's very underrated. I think Chris Collins is going to get the best out of those guys. And there are teams that lost in the first day of the Big Ten tournament. There's Jake Diebler lost in the first round of the tournament. Not
It could be
ideal.
worse.
Could be worse. Could be 100% worse. Let's see here. Actually, sorry. 5 blocked messages here. Let me go ahead and get in here real quick. Let's see here. Happy Riley Friday. If I make it in time. If not, still would like your thoughts. Does Shire, I believe that is, deserve ACC Coach of the Year? No, he went out and got top talent. Congratulations. You did what Duke's always been able to do, get talented guys minus Mason Jar. Where are you at with the ACC Coach of the Year thing?
If Shire had won, I wouldn't have had any gripes. I think like going 19-1 in the league with like their big margin of victory would be worthy of that award. At the same time, I understand Kelsey getting it because he literally took a team that had won 12 combined games.
Well,
12 combined games in 2 years. He rebounded from the Kenny Payne era so seamlessly. Like it's so rare because they brought in a whole new roster through the transfer portal and then Kanai Roots, and he pretty much hit on every important transfer. Like he withstood the injuries. He withstood. Like I thought he was doing a terrible job in December. I thought they were taking way too many threes because I know that's his mo. But they had no shooters. He figured it out. They've lost once this calendar year. I just think they're a really good team, and I kind of think he deserves it more. Like if we're going, even though like Shire, this Duke team may end up being historically great if they cut down the nets in a month from now. But like for the time being, you can't dismiss what Kelsey did this year. And my biggest gripe through it all is like the official Duke's men's basketball account, like just shaking copious amounts of tush, like
hmm
flaunting its advanced metrics, like anybody's going to read their laundry list of achievements. Like I was talking to one of my friends who's a Duke fan, big time. He's a big time fan of the program too. Crazy Talker's Twitter account. Um, One of the he's a good follow, even if you're not a
Oh
Duke
yeah,
fan.
for
But
sure.
I was telling him because we were kind of going back and forth on this, and I was saying like if you're Duke, if you're the official Duke men's basketball Twitter account, and you're upset that Cooper Flag didn't win Defensive Player of the Year, spare me the like first in defensive win share, first in defensive box plus minus, first on Evanmiya's DBPM, which like love Evan, but like we don't need to see all these stats listed. Just tweet out a montage of Cooper Flag blocks, steals, dunks, and be like, I bet like that will be a power move. No one wants to see this list of like advanced metrics. Give me the highlights. Like, beat your chest a little bit that you do have arguably the best defensive player in the country. Give me a highlight montage. Don't give me like these graphics. Like, dude, no one needs that.
Yeah, Duke's one of the best teams in the country, and I've always felt this way in these situations. I hate when teams get hung up on things like this. Like you
Yes.
are one of the like I even spoke about this on the Michigan State video the other day. I love what Trey Holloman did. I'm really sick of like us being hung up on this moment as we're 17-3 and won the Big Ten by 3 games in a year where we were supposed to be cooked. Like I want to focus on what we got to do and what we are. Like I don't need to get hung up and have analytics models on how many blocks Cooper Flag has when he has two left feet in the lane. I don't know. Like he's really
Yeah.
good. Who cares? You have aspirations of cutting down nets. Do you really want ACC coach a year like that?
I'll criticize my own team. Like UNC did this last year when they also won the ACC by multiple games. I'll remind people when Harrison Ingram, remember like ahead of like UNC's matchup with Pitt in the ACC tournament, where or it was after the game, Ingram was like, "Yeah, I took it personally that Blake Hinson got first team All ACC over me," and Seth Trimble was like, "Yeah, I took it personal that Ish Leggett got six man of the year over me." Bro, it's Pitt.
It,
It's like it's very similar type vibes here with what Duke is doing. Like just move on and keep winning games by 20 and no one cares.
all right, and no one's gonna feel bad for y'all. Not on this program, at least I'll tell you that. With the season getting to the climax, how would you rank the season as a whole so far? I'm gonna
uh
ask you outside of your own team. Like, how would you rate this college basketball season as a whole?
it really is tough because like my team is not good and my biggest
Right.
rival could be generationally good, but I will say it's been a fun season, like a 7 out of 10. I think like there's a couple teams that I've really gravitated to. Florida's my favorite team to watch in the country. Houston, I love the way they defend. Of course, like the teams at the top are all really fun to watch, which I think is good for the sport. And it's good. I think we like truly have four elite teams in Duke, Auburn, Houston, and Florida. And it's nice when you have like a clear. I think it's kind of nice to have a clear cut tier where it's like these four teams are the elite of the elite, and I firmly believe one of them is going to cut down the nets. Then aside from that, like there have been some other teams that have had good moments. Like I really enjoyed Illinois' run at the beginning of the year when they were draining 17 threes at Oregon, and I thought they were like Final Four good. Texas A&M has been one of those teams I've liked to tune into for a lot of the year, like just kind of random teams, like whether it's SEC, Big 12 teams, even the occasional Big 10 team. Shout out to my boys that I'm just tuning into and enjoying to watch more than I expected to.
Yeah, I think I currently put it at 7 out of 10. It could get up there too if the tournament like matches up with how like if we get a really good March Madness tournament. then that's how you get it to the next level. But I think, like you said, even outside of like my Big Ten teams that I watch, and my team being really good and winning the Big Ten this year, like I've loved watching Florida, love watching Texas Tech, Houston, BYU, even teams like Ole Miss. I just kind of gravitate towards because I think they're so
Hmm.
tough, and like Sean Padula is just this white boy who wears a headband with a burner. Like that's always gonna hold a special place in my heart. You got Cooper Flag, you got Duke, you got Auburn. I think it's been honestly a really good college basketball season so far, and hopefully March does it justice. Um, Malik, once again, Greg, you ready for those long nights of getting up with the baby? And Carter, you should give Leon some puree fruit so it's easier for him to start with the good fruit and the vegetables first. I love parenting advice from Malik. That's exactly what I need. Look, Malik, we did the squash, like I said. I think we tried the avocado, so we're on that right now. We might go strawberries next. Might work in a fruit, but we'll see. We'll see which way that goes. We do puree it. So I think I'm doing you proud. Riley, how did you do with those long nights when Theo was a young pup?
Parenting advice from Malik is just the most insane comment. It's
It's so
also
insane
like
because I have no clue about Malik's life. I don't know if he's
Malik might
14.
be a father,
I don't know if he's
like
14. I
there's
don't know if he's 40. I don't know if he's 30. I don't know if he has children. I have no clue how this guy operates. I don't know what ethnicity he is. Nothing about him. He's just Malik.
there's long sleepless nights. I really don't even remember, man. You just get through them. I was never a napper. I never took naps like when I was on paternity leave or anything. It was just like, okay, I didn't get much sleep last night. We just got it. We're gonna make this work, you know?
Boys built different. I'm for sure team nap with it. Uh, last Perry Flurry here. Sorry, not last Perry. Perry Flurry has two more. I'm sorry, but Kit Kat is not good. Waffles are taste like 90% air, Riley. You look like a saltwater taffy guy.
Hate saltwater taffy. At least don't give me that. I guess is this a response that I guess I talked about making waffles before?
I don't
Because
know.
I
Also,
do make really good waffles. I love waffles.
are you a Belgian waffle guy?
What do you define as Belgian waffles?
I
Just like
there's no way you expected me to answer that.
I will say I make waffles with oats. I blend up oats in place of flour because it's more filling and a little more nutritious.
I love a good man. I've said this before, but you catch me at a hotel continental breakfast and I get that little waffle maker where you pour the batter in the cup, put it right in the maker,
Uh-huh.
flip that thing over, ooh, something about it. It always truly hits. Malik Perry, last one. Name three players from your team and what candy matches their personality.
All right, let's think. Kate, you ever had a zero bar, the white chocolate bar?
Yeah.
Cade Tyson's a zero. Um, RJ
What's RJ
Davis,
Davis?
he's like a 100 grand.
Unheard.
It's really tasty, but it's also I feel like old people love 100 grands, and he's just been at Carolina forever. Um, Ian Jackson would be something that's really tasty, but you only get to see like one time of year inexplicably because like when he goes to the bench, Hooper just forgets about him. What's like a good seasonal? Is there a good seasonal? Like Ian Jackson would be like peppermint bark.
Yeah, or like the Reese's whatever season it is, like the Reese's
Yep,
egg, the
yeah, the
Reese's
Reese's egg.
Christmas
Yeah,
tree.
yep, love that. Yep.
That's exactly what he is. That's a good call. Trey Holloman is a warhead. Um let's see. Jace Richardson. What is Jace Richardson? Jace Richardson is a Hershey's cookies and cream bar.
Ooh,
Uh
love that shout.
just a special candy bar, special talent, truly. And then Jackson Kohler. What is Jackson Kohler? Jackson Kohler's Fun Dip.
that I don't know why, but that feels very accurate.
It feels so accurate, and I have no explanation about it. But Jackson Kohler's Fun Dip, and that is what it is. All hail the Pope. Round two of Kentucky versus Oklahoma. What are your opinions on this game? Will Owe go off again?
Dog, who cares? It's Oklahoma.
Hey, respect Jeremiah Fears on this podcast.
I love Jeremiah Fears, but it's him and Jalen Moore and a bunch of bums and Porter Moser. Like tune into Carter and you're doing the Big 12 with Dion, aren't you? Or is it Subi?
No, Subi.
Okay, tune into Carter and Subi for Big 12 previews and recaps. Sorry, I haven't tapped into them yet, but I love Subi. And I love you too, of course, Cards. I'll make sure to watch it like when the games start to get good.
Kentucky and Oklahoma, they're in the SEC, Riley.
That was bad. That's my fault.
That's supposed to be my thing.
Can JK edit this out? I don't know why I went straight to Big 12, but yeah,
You know
watch
what?
the SEC
It's been a long comment day. We're gonna wrap it up here. Don't you worry.
facts.
Purdue Fox. Are your kids Nike or Under Armour athletes?
Nike for sure.
Nike for sure. Even though I have a good buddy that works at Under Armour, and they send out like seasonal discount codes, and I will say I do love Under Armour clothing. So shout out to my dog TJ. Last one here. Happy Riley Friday from Pico, please. Well, this season sucked. I'm glad it's over. I need a decision from you guys on whether I root for New Mexico or UC San Diego now. I will be pulling for Cliff and Bama too, but I want to root for one of the mid majors early on. Riley, I'm gonna leave this up to you because I feel like you got a real good pull. I mean, obviously, I love New Mexico and I love UC San Diego. Shout out to my dog Miles Che. But go ahead and leave Pico, please, in this situation.
I would lean New Mexico too, just because of Donovan Dent and just like a fun style of play where they get up and down on the court. And I think they have a better chance to make a run than UC San Diego. I would say don't sleep on Colorado State if they can get in the dance. That's been a team that I've long they like the Colorado State men's basketball official Twitter account gave me a follow like 3 years ago, and I've been loyal ever since. Easily bought. But they got, I mean, Neat Clifford's one of the best players in the country. Just absolute dog on both ends of the court, and yeah, can create his shot, takes away the other team's best perimeter player, and just like a maniacal rebounder as well. So I love the way Colorado State plays.
Yeah, I'm with you. Neek's a killer. I'm 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 missing the point guard's name, but he's just like a little quick dude. Like he's quick as hell. I think he's a sophomore. A little light skinned dude. I like that team a lot.
I I like them so much that I too have forgotten their point guard's
Dog, but
name.
he's just like super fast and just like a game like and he's just like he compliments Neek really really well. I'm sorry,
It's
Colorado State fans.
Kyan Evans. Kyan Evans.
Yeah. Also, what a name. Like
Yeah,
that's a
great name.
point guard name if I ever heard one. That does it for the Discord comments today. Really large Discord day. Riley, you always bring the Discord comments out. Riley Fridays come along and people get fired up. It's one of the main reasons you should join the Discord. We are brought to you by YouTube Compliance. We are compliant at all times. YouTube, we thank you for the platform that you have given us. We are here to adhere by any means and needs that you have. Riley, can I ask you how have you been compliant this week?
How have I been compliant this week? I'm in Florida. Florida has very strict life jacket laws. If you choose to take a kayak into the ocean, and I wear my life jacket when I kayak.
That's about as compliant can get. Also, I know that Riley wears that because his arms probably look incredible when he has a life vest on. I'm watching you. I know it's not just for safety. Let's get to the episode. Topic number one, Riley, the floor is yours.
So I teased this topic in a text to you and Greg earlier this week. I believe it was Monday's episode when you tiered your national title contenders.
Hmm.
And one of the tiers was Final Four silly face. so so this is a new segment I'm calling Final Four silly face. And what I want to do, Cart, is draft teams to make the Final Four. The winner of this draft will be whoever gets the most teams right. Initially, I thought either Dion or Greg would be here, so we were each going to draft. Like there would be three teams of four. We
Hmm.
might need to like reconfigure the format a little bit, but I have a proposition for you.
Okay.
Um, Real ones remember on our bold prediction show back in like late October, early November, we agreed that the stipulations were that the loser of that bet, or the one who had the least amount of points come true with their bold predictions, would have to do the 8-6-4-2 challenge,
Yep.
where it involves slices of pizza, or miles ran slices of pizza,
Here's drink.
beers drunk, and donuts consumed.
Hmm.
And you could break it up in any style you want. Like you could do 8 slices of pizza, 6 miles, 4 beers, 2 donuts, or like some combination of that. I would propose that if I win this draft, if I get more Final Four teams correct, that I can drop the two. So I just have to do 8-6-4 and like and choose which one because I'm going to lose. I already know I'm going to lose. It's been decided, especially because y'all got an extra 10 points apiece when Duke swept UNC, and just some egregious bold predictions on my part. Um, So
Hey,
yeah, if I could just do the 864 part and cut out like the donuts or something. That's really what I want to do. I just don't want to eat donuts.
Greg wouldn't let you do this. I'm going to allow it though. I'm
All
going
right,
to
let's
allow it,
go.
Riley. You know what I'm saying? Our horns were in lockstep. We got to stick together on this one. So I will allow that. Okay, so we are drafting teams to make the final four. And it just comes down to who has more teams there, I'm guessing that no
Hmm.
other stipulations I need to know about.
Nope, that's it.
Okay. What are the drafting parameters though? Like can we like is it we can draft any team we want, or is it like you got
Hmm.
to go one way or the other? Do you get okay? Actually, I'll ask this: does it matter at all the seeding that teams get to the final four? Like, is there any like points things involved with it?
No, I just want to go straight up. I'm thinking we each draft 8 teams, and the only rule I'm going to put on it is we each have to take a team. Let's each take 2 teams outside of the power conferences.
Okay,
Um, so outside of the Big 12, Big East, ACC, Big 10, SEC. So you could take like you could take a Mountain West team, you could take an A10 team. I'm not gonna get like super nitpicky about like, oh, you got to make sure you got to have a low major in there or a true mid major or whatever. So yeah, just 2 teams, 8 teams total, 2 teams outside of the power conferences.
okay, good deal. Would you like to go first or second? I'm guessing snake style.
Yeah, I'm gonna go second because I don't want to cheer for Duke.
Okay,
I don't
yeah,
want to
I'm
have to
gonna go.
stake on
I
Duke.
will be taking Duke.
All right, cool. Let me start making notes of this. Okay, so cart Duke.
Yep,
I will take Auburn and I will take Houston.
good picks there. Good pick. I thought I could sneak Houston from you, to be honest. I thought maybe you might go with another team there. I'm going to take Florida, and I'm going to take Michigan State.
Okay. Let's see. I will take. Da, 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 da. Uh, I'll take Alabama.
Take Alabama.
Yeah, don't feel great about This kind of feels like an old Nate like elite borderline elite Nate Oates team that flops in the Sweet 16. But I'll take Alabama, and I will take Texas Tech.
Right. I thought I could sneak it back to me. I got. Would you have taken Michigan State?
No, I would not take a Michigan State. I'm sorry.
That sucks. I should have got Texas Tech when I had the chance.
I love Jace though. I will say, Jace. It was interesting when we were talking about our players from our team and their personality compared to like pieces of candy.
Mm,
Jace to me plays. He and Ian Jackson play very similarly, except Jace has like point guard skills to go with it. Whereas I don't think Ian's there yet. He's kind of improved a little bit as a playmaker, but Jace to me is like perfect blend of shot making and facilitating.
yeah, good picks.
I can't believe he played under 20 minutes for so long. But I'm glad Izzo figured it out.
Yeah, same here. Okay, so you took Bama, right? Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Uh, it's always interesting when we do these drafting exercises to see how many times we can pass up on Tennessee before somebody picks them.
Yeah, I
Um,
know.
but given what the other teams are, I actually am going to pick Tennessee here. I'm going to take Tennessee, and I'm going to take. Ah, I, I don't want any of those. I'm going to take Tennessee, and then I'll take St. John's.
I was gonna take St. John's next. Good pick.
Yeah, Tennessee and St. John's.
Oh man, I guess I'll take. There are 2 teams that like the heart wants what it wants. In the words of, is that Demi Lovato or is that who's that other girl that's like Demi Lovato? Selena Gomez. Which one's saying the heart wants what it wants?
Demi Lovato.
I think it was Demi Lovato. The heart wants what it wants, but I really want to get out of eating donuts. Um, so I'm gonna take Iowa State.
Mm.
I already hate that pick.
Wait, how many?
And
Hold on a second now. You only have a certain amount of picks left. You had to have two major non-conference teams. How are you still in the spot to do that?
Yeah, I've taken Auburn, Houston, Alabama, and Texas Tech, and Iowa State. So I have 3 picks left.
Okay, got you. Okay. Uh,
I'll take New Mexico. I'll go ahead and get one of my
one
non-power
of
conference
one of
teams
the power
there.
conference teams. Okay. So quick reset here. I have Duke, Michigan State, Florida, Tennessee, St. John's currently. So we're doing 8, correct?
So you get one more power conference team and then the two non-power conferences.
Got it. The thing is, I hate both of the WCC teams. Like I have zero faith that either of those teams can make it to a Final Four. So on that accord, I'll take. Ah, mm. Oh, I'll take Memphis, and I will take. UC San. I'll take UC San Diego. Yeah, I'll go Memphis and UC San Diego for my two non-power five picks.
All right. I'm going to go for my last power conference pick. I'm taking BYU. And then for my non-power conference pick, like I could go Gonzaga. Like the number 10 Kim Pom team is there,
I
and
mean,
that's like
the value's
enticing.
crazy that you can get them right here. I mean,
I
I
guess
went to all.
I'll
I passed them up big time.
yeah, I'll take Gonzaga.
I mean, it's a good pick, right? I mean, the number 10 team in Campon. I don't believe in those guys at all. I'm sorry.
I don't either, but
All
you
right,
get
so I
one
have
more. I
one
think
more
you're
pick. I have one more pick here.
it's a power conference.
This power conference. This is a pure vibes legendary run. Call my shot pick here. I'm gonna take Marquette.
Ooh, Cam Jones legacy march.
Cam Jones legacy march to get to San Antonio. It's going to end one way or the other in the first game, or it's going to end in San Antonio. That's the only two outcomes that could come out of this. So, all right, I'll read my team real quick, and then I'll throw it over to you. So these are teams that we are drafting to win or to make the Final Four. Correct? That's it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is teams to make the Final Four. On my end, I have Duke, I have Michigan State, I have Florida, Tennessee, St. John's, UC San Diego, Memphis, and Marquette. Riley, your teams?
My teams are Auburn, Houston, Alabama, Texas Tech, Iowa State, New Mexico, BYU, and Gonzaga. I like my chances.
Moment of vulnerability here. I think you washed me, Riley.
Yeah, I think I had a pretty good draft. I feel very good about that.
You did.
Um,
You did. Yeah, you did.
can I tell you one of my the heart wants what it wants teams was BYU. Do you want to guess the other one? Because I think it's also a heart wants what it wants for you too.
Heart wants what it wants team. Wait, who am I? And you didn't draft them?
I didn't draft them. No,
Was it the
they are.
Aggies?
It's not the Aggies. They are led by a player who we have like. He would be like first team all Riley and Carter's guy. He might be like the Riley and Carter's guy player of the year.
Oh, why do I not know this?
He's a
What is it?
freshman,
Wait a minute. It's not Texas, is it?
not Texas. No.
Freshman. Oh, Derek Queen?
Yeah, Maryland. Maryland was my like. I was so tempted to be like Derek Queen legacy run through March.
See, so the only reason I didn't do Maryland is in my head for some reason I didn't want to pick two Big Ten teams.
Oh,
I
yeah, that
wanted to
makes
settle on
sense.
Michigan State, and that's my Big Ten team to make it. But yeah, we are unequivocally Derek Queen guys. Shout out to our long sleeve hoopers in the world. But that was a fun topic, Riley. I hope I somehow find a way to win because I just made a stipulation that now if I do win this, given how the draft played out, the two becomes a four. So
Please don't. Maybe I'll negotiate to a three.
yeah, we can negotiate offline.
To,
I'll bring my lawyer Greg in. Topic number 2, Riley, please.
So for topic number 2, I just wanted to have a big old discussion on conference tournaments ahead of the weekend. And we're going to cover a couple different topics in this. The first order of business that we're going to do is go through the power conference tournaments. We're talking ACC, Big 12, Big East, Big 10, SEC. Recalibrate after a day or two of these tournaments for who we think is going to win this tournament now 2 days in. And I'm also going to say let's do some bold predictions too. Some of these bold predictions, they might be obsolete by the time this airs on Friday morning because there are Thursday games, but I still want to do it anyway. And then we'll close the conference tournament dialogue with giving some shout outs to any mid-major tournaments that we find ourselves watching and enjoy watching even.
That sounds good. Where should we start with the conference tournaments?
Let's start with the ACC. After
Okay,
2 days of the ACC tournament, do you still think Duke wins this, or is there someone else whose chances you like?
Uh, you know what? I do somewhat question if Duke like really needs this, like some other teams might need it. But I also don't want to. I find myself taking a step back here and think I'm just overthinking it by trying to convince myself that Duke's not the best team in the ACC and that they showed it throughout the year. And in this moment, I think they're going to show it again. So it's not bold. It's not that much of a reset. But actually, I'll save a bolder prediction here. But I do think Duke is still the favorite to win the ACC tournament. I still feel really good about that.
That's where I'm at too. I like both Clemson and Louisville's chances. I do think the motivation factor could be real to where it's like I wouldn't blame, like no one would blame Duke at all if they won the ACC by multiple games. They're going to be a 1 seed. Like if they mailed it in a little bit or let their foot off the gas, it's not really going to affect how people view them come tournament time. And I do think it's like, I don't know. In my mind, it's way easier to win 6 games in a row than 9 games in a row. I feel like we very rarely see teams win their conference tournament and then go on to win it all, unless you're UConn. But yeah, I'd still pick Duke to win this. For a bold prediction, I'll go ahead and kick this off. Again, this might not come to fruition by the time this airs, but I think Georgia Tech gives Duke a fight today. I think they lose by single digits behind a Duncan Powell masterclass.
A Duncan Powell masterclass is what you're hitching your bold prediction wagon to.
I like just don't be surprised if Duncan Powell scores a couple buckets in isolation on Cooper Flag. Just don't be surprised when that happens.
You're a sicko, my friend, but I love every single minute of it, and I don't care. So my bold prediction is I think that SMU gets Clemson.
Ooh,
I think SMU gets Clemson. Now, I am admittedly every time I hop on this, I am the world's worst bracketologist by far. I'm not a bracketologist. When I attempt to be one, I don't do a very good job. That's why I got Lucas Harkins. That's why I got him on my side. That's why that's my guy. Um, is SMU in the field currently?
they're not no.
I don't know if okay. Well, if you want to get in the field, a win against Clemson would go a long way for that, obviously. And look, this SMU team, when they get it going, they can pour it in bunches. Like they can really score the basketball. And I know that Clemson's great defensively, but I think there's a world where you get like an SMU offensive kind of legacy performance. This is a team that is top 25 in the country from 3-point percentage. Clemson's defense is good, but they're not. They're good at defending the three, but they're not just like all worldly. I
Mm-hmm.
do think there is a world where if SMU can find a way to keep Clemson off the glass, which is tough, by the way, because Shefflin and Lockett are just monsters, and
Right.
SMU's awful on the offense, on defensive rebounding. But if they can just give themselves a chance to light it up from three, a Boopy Miller masterclass, maybe. I mean, does that not feel like it's just sounds good to you? I think SMU beats Clemson in this game.
I like that pick a lot. I don't know. SMU scares me just because they are like the if I'm trying, okay, how do we say this? If like if Pitt is the LeBron of being Q3, Q4 merchants, then SMU is the Jordan of Q3, Q4 merchants. And I know we're aligned in saying LeBron is the GOAT, so the only one in contention with him would be Jordan. And so that's it here. Like Pitt and SMU are like they're tussling for that title. And I like that like SMU has legit size. They have a really deep front court, and I think that can cause some teams some mismatches.
Mm,
Um, but they need it. They have zero Q1 wins, and this would be a great time to get one because they're pretty much auto bid or bust at this point. So yeah,
yeah,
I do like that shout. I like that bold
yeah.
prediction.
So yeah, a team playing with something to play for. I think I'll
Mhm.
go with that one.
And people forget, Cart. Remember, we recapped this game last year when Clemson got lit up by Boston College and Quentin Post in the first round of the ACC tournament last year, or their first ACC tournament game rather. They
And
lost
then
by 20 to BC.
made a what Elite Eight run? Is that what it was?
Yeah. So if you're Brownell, throw this game and try to get back to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, or try to get back to
Basic math.
Indiana.
Mm. All right. Big 12. Who do you think wins this one?
Okay, so pre-tournament, shout out to Greg. He brought this up at first, and I really think it's starting to kind of come to fruition here. I love BYU in the spot that they're in, given the fact that Iowa State is so beat up right now that I
Mm-hmm.
honestly have been like jokingly, but I kind of truthfully mean it. I think that Iowa State should rest guys. Like get Gilbert
Yeah.
some rest, get Lipsy some rest. Get these guys going for the tournament because that's the big dance right there. That's the one you want to be healthy for. And this Iowa State team can win some things and they can get to a Final Four, but they're not going to get there unless they're healthy. BYU's playing their first game. BYU's been one of the hottest teams in the Big 12. And one of my favorite things, I love a good exercise demon story, right?
Mm-hmm.
BYU was one of the softer teams in the country to me in the Big 12 early on this year. They went to the Fertitta Center against Houston. They lost by like 90 points. They were visibly pissing down their leg. I want them to get their get back. I want them to knock off Iowa State. I want them to knock off Houston in the next game when Houston beats Colorado. And I want them to get to the Big 12 championship. And once they get there, we'll see what it is. But uh, I picked BYU pre-tournament. I'm going to stick with BYU.
Yeah, I was between this one kind of feels like the most wide open. Like I could see a world where Arizona wins, I could see a world where Texas Tech wins, Houston, BYU, or even Iowa State. Like I know Iowa State's beat up. Sean Gilbert played 11 minutes in their first round win, but I think the fact that they were able to just completely dismantle a Cincinnati team. Granted, Cincinnati's not good, but we've seen Iowa State struggle with bad teams for the better part of a month, and to see them kind of get right a little bit has me convinced there's a chance they could pull it off. But I ultimately will lean Houston in this one just because I think their path is pretty easy. They should be able to rest their starters at least the final 5 minutes against Colorado today. Um, I like their chances against either BYU or Iowa State just because of the way that defense can shut off what has been a prolific BYU offense, and I think they are just the better and more healthy version of Iowa State. Meanwhile, on the other side of the bracket, I think between Texas Tech and Arizona, it's just kind of even going to be a dogfight between those two to get to the championship games. I don't really buy Kansas or Baylor at this point in the year, but like those are tougher matchups than having to go against Colorado in the quarterfinals, I believe, for Houston. So give me the Cougs in that one. Bold prediction for the Big 12. I don't even know if this is bold at this point, but I kind of hinted at it. I think Arizona beats Kansas by 20 today.
Oh, you think it's dog walking?
I think it's a dog walking. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean look, this Kansas team I just think is not it. Like I get it. I think they're not it, but you know why? And this is a good transition to my bold prediction. This Kansas team not being it is why they're going to make it to the championship game.
I know. As I'm saying they're going to lose by 20, I'm like, this would really not be surprising if Self just has them dudes ready today and they end up winning by like 15 to 20.
I think they're going to play 3 straight OT games en route to the Big 12 championship where they lose by 20. They'll lose by 20 eventually, but it'll be in the Big 12 championship. That's my bold prediction for the Big 12. And I feel pretty good about that.
Mm-hmm. Let's move on to the Big East. Who do you like winning this one?
I hate the Big East tournament this year. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Like I'm really gearing up to watch Villanova in the third
I
round. Like
know. I know, man.
what are we really doing here? Um hold on real quick here. I want to just make sure I got the bracket up to date here. My apologies, people. Is what it is.
I can
Okay.
say I'll get, okay. Yeah, yeah, you go.
Yeah, my fault.
No, you're
Um
good.
uh, so I think right now, I think pre-tournament I was feeling pretty good about UConn getting to the final, right? Like just
Mm-hmm.
Hurley sending the message. Shout out to Greg, he brought this up as well. They're not going to be very good in the NCAA tournament, so they need to find themselves a banner. They didn't win the regular season. They need to leave here with something. Word to Denzel. Um, so for my pick to win it, I'm actually going to go with UConn to win this one. They have Villanova in this matchup. If they win that game, they will match up with either Creighton or DePaul with a chance to go to the championship. I like UConn in both those settings. So yeah, I'll go with UConn to win the Big East title.
I'll go with Creighton just to spice it up a little bit. I think it'd be partially for the storylines. Like Creighton is, it's funny their offense on the season is only 37th on Kimpom, but at the same time, they're the number one team in the country in terms of like 2 point field goal percentage and fifth in assist rate. Like I love some good ball movement. They run really good stuff, and I want to see some offensive fireworks in MSG. I think that's more fun than like the angle of St. John's just dominating with defense on the way to a title. So yeah, I think Creighton gets past UConn and they get a susceptible Marquette team in the final, which gets to my bold prediction. You mentioned this for your Final Four draft. I actually have this prepared for a legacy Cam Jones run through the Big East tournament where he beats St. John's en route to the title game before ultimately falling to Creighton.
Oh, thank you for giving me a bold prediction, little push here. We're looking at a Marquette Cam Jones masterclass. He knocks down St. John's. He knocks out UConn in the championship game. He takes it to the guards of Xavier to get it going. I think that Marquette, if I had to go bold here, that would be my team to win the Big East title. They were at one point in the driver's seat to win this conference. Now they struggled down the stretch, but I can't shake the guard play. Joplin's a real streaky player. If they can get Ben
Mhm.
Gold to do anything besides cardio, I do like this Marquette team. I like Shaka. So yeah, my bold prediction is for Marquette to win the Big East.
People also forget that Chase Ross threw down a windmill in game.
That
Anytime
was
you have a
crazy.
player, yeah, yeah, I'm always gonna give those teams a little added juice. Let's move on to your league, Cart. Let's go to the Big Ten. Who do you think wins the Big Ten tournament?
I think Maryland wins the Big Ten tournament. I think Maryland wins the Big Ten tournament. I think that Maryland has the best starting five in the league, and I think that's going to do them well in this setting, being able to play in the. And I think the actually, let me make sure. Okay, the bracket definitely falls a little bit better for some other teams, but just in
Mm-hmm.
this spot, having the star power and the strength in the five that they had, if this team stays out of foul trouble, I think that they get there, and yeah, I think that Maryland wins this.
I gotta go with my Spartans. Go green, go white. Shout out to fam. I really like their path here, where like they get to play the winner of Indiana, Oregon. They should win that game by double digits. And then they would play the winner of like presumably UCLA versus Wisconsin. I don't like I texted you and, and Greg this offline and said I feel burned for claiming the Badgers last week. The Badgers burned me. I hated the way they finished the year, and it feels a little bit like Greg Gard and the Badgers might be resting on their laurels. You know, everybody's pumping smoke up their tushes and saying that he should be the coach of the year, things of that nature. I kind of think Sparty might even clap them dudes to remind everybody that this is our league this year. It runs on Jace Richardson and friendship. And if they get oh man, it'd be pretty sick if y'all got Michigan in the finals and got to get a little throw them threes up.
So the
Get the
threes, yeah,
brooms out, throw them threes up.
I would love to see
Um
Michigan in the final. By the way, would love it.
yeah, such a good matchup for the Spartans. What about a bold prediction here?
Ooh, bold prediction. Michigan State loses their first game of the Big Ten tournament. That's my and here's where I'm coming from on this one, Riley. If this team has Final Four aspirations, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look at they are currently on a 7 game win streak, I believe it is, seven straight quad one victories. They would have to win 3 games to win the Big Ten title, I believe, in the Big Ten tournament. That'd be 10 straight. And then you're looking at in the tournament to get to a Final Four. Basically, you got to win what is it 5 games to get to a Final Four?
Four, yeah, 4 games.
4 games to get to a Final Four. So this team would have to win 14 straight games, basically against all quad one opponents. I rather them like take a lump right now and Izzo go into the locker room and be like, y'all thought that thing at the center court with Fat Brooks was so cool. You all suck. You're not worth the jersey. You're not worth the logo. I'll rip the logo off the Breslin and make y'all lick and stick it right back the way it was before. Like I need some of that out of my coach. So that's my bold prediction. And I think the team that gets them is their kryptonite. It's Indiana. It's the Hoosiers. It's Mike Woodson, the only man that can take us down to the Breslin Center.
Oh man, yeah. I still don't see it happening, but I like the prediction. I like Illinois to lose in embarrassing fashion somewhere along the way. I think it comes against Maryland. I wouldn't rule it out happening against Iowa, a resurgent Iowa team that got by Ohio State. I just feel like, again, Illinois is one of those teams where it's like, I gave you my heart and you ruined it. You ripped it out of my chest and stomped on it. I thought I loved you. You let me down. You lost to Duke by 40 plus, man. I can't forgive that. And uh, I kind of think if they go up against Maryland, I could see like Maryland's just the tougher team when you think about like Reese and Queen in the front court, like kind of beating up on that. I know Illinois has some skill up there, but like, sorry Illinois fans, but I think that's where the I guess their Big Ten run ends is at the hands of Maryland in embarrassing fashion.
Never forget that Spencer Hubbard cooked Illinois. That happened.
That's how'd y'all let that happen?
It happened, man.
Spencer Hubbard, dude. He's like the one dude on the team who's like under 6 foot.
It
He's under
happened.
6'5" even, and he cooks
Right.
y'all. All right, SEC.
Oh, SEC tournament. I got my Gators winning it. I think the Gators are the best team in the SEC. I think they win it.
I, I do too. I freaking love this Florida team. I need like a legacy Florida run here, man. I need them to like this might I don't know if this will be bold, but I think that there's a chance they win like their first two games by 20. Like they might 20 piece Mizzou, and I wouldn't be that surprised if they 20 piece Alabama. That's going to be my bold prediction. Yeah, they get to the championship game with like absolute blowouts in the first two rounds.
Okay, that's a good. That's is that the bold prediction for you?
Mm-hmm. And
My
then they end
bold
up beating
prediction is that A&M makes it to the title game.
them. Ooh.
Yeah, Texas A&M makes it to the title game. They beat Texas in the first game. They match it with Tennessee. I think that they could, it's something about if the Buzz Williams style works of just tough, gritty, bite the floor. So what's Solomon Washington say? If you're not a dog, then you're dog food like mentality. I just think that could work for this basketball team, and they're playing teams that I don't think have much to necessarily play for. Not to like downplay
Mm-hmm.
anything, but like Auburn's going to be a 1 seed if Auburn gets to that point. Tennessee is pretty much locked in where they're going to be at. So yeah, let me sign up for a Buzz Williams SEC championship appearance against Florida, where Florida beats them.
So I love that call because of this stat. So these are how A&M has performed in the SEC tournament since 2022. In 2022, they won 3 games, lost in the title game to Tennessee. 2023, they won 2 games, lost to Alabama. I believe that would have been the semifinals.
Mhm.
2024 also won 2 games and lost to Florida. I think that might have been the semis as well. So every year since 2022, they've won at least 2 games in the SEC tournament. If they, oh wait, I what's the I played myself. If they win 2 games in this one, they get to the semis. But just get one more and they get to the championship.
Hey, one game at a
The
time, Riley.
the point is they've played well under Buzz in the SEC tournament.
100% for sure.
All right, let's close with like a very brief mid-major conference tournament dialogue. Is there any like for me every year for some reason I always find myself randomly tapping into the SoCon championship. I usually find myself watching the ASUN championship. I usually tune into like the Ivy League championship. Is there any mid-major league where you're like for some reason I always find myself locking into this one and it delivers that you want to give the people out there a chance to be aware of
I mean,
potentially maybe down the road.
it's not as mid major as you probably want it, but like something about the Mountain West tournament like always does it for me. Like
Mm-hmm.
watching like New Mexico last year with Jalen House going at it. Also, by the way, let's not forget New Mexico last year had Donovan Dent, Jalen House, Jamal Mashburn Jr., and JT Toppin on a basketball
Crazy,
team. Like
crazy amount of talent.
crazy, crazy. But like it's just always a fun environment. I'm not sure where they exactly play it. It kind of looks like this weird kind of stadium where all the seats are really on top of the floor. It's like half hotel, half convention center. I don't know where
Is
it's
it?
at, but it's
I think it's in
always a really
Vegas.
great environment. Is it in Vegas?
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, I think you're right. It is in Vegas.
Yeah, it's in Las Vegas in the Thomas and Mack Center.
Yeah, it's just always a good tournament, and honestly, you have a matchup in the first round where if New Mexico wins, they possibly match up with like San Diego State and or Boise State. That could be a really good game. We got our Rams on the bottom half of that bracket, Riley, with Colorado State matching up with Fawcett and the boys in Utah State. I think that it's going to be some really good basketball, especially when you get to that the Friday matchup of the semifinals before you get to the finals. I think there could be some really good basketball in the Mountain West.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I will again mention that for some reason I enjoy the Ivy League tournament. I don't know why. It's only like the semifinals and the finals, but I always
We
find
need
myself watching.
is it Yale? Who's in it?
I have not done prep work. I will learn who's in it on Sunday when I'm watching the finals.
We need
That's what
I need
you got
either
to go into it
I need
blind.
either Yale or Princeton in it because
Yeah,
Yale's got
true.
Pulakidis and
Hmm.
Princeton's got Xavier Lee. So I need one of those two dudes.
So I believe at least a quick KimPom search would lead me to believe that it's Yale, Cornell, Princeton, and Dartmouth. Dartmouth sneaking in at 18 and 13.
Sneaky Dartmouth.
Ugh. Dartmouth's never been to the big dance before. They
No,
get
they have
Cornell
not.
in the first round.
They have
So we
not.
get we get Yale and Princeton in the first round on Saturday.
Oh, we do. Damn it.
Pulakitis versus Xavier and Lee.
Damn it.
I'm tuning into that.
Yeah, I'll
I'm
definitely
tuning
tune
into
into
that.
that. That's a good shout.
The only other mid-major league I wanted to mention was the MAC, just because Akron's really good. Like they have some former power conference players on their roster, uh, namely James Okonkwo, who played at UNC last year. They got Seth Wilson, who started out at West Virginia as well. And they just play really good defense, and they always kind of fit that the giant killer, what's sort of looking for archetype with like the way they
Yeah,
defend and the way they kind of slow down the pace and everything. So if they can win the MAC, I like their chances to maybe pull an upset in the first round. But yeah, fun topic.
good shout. They also go by the Zips, so like we're in. I want to
Zips is
make that
sick.
clear. Good shout though, Riley. Third and final topic, Riley. Let's finish strong.
We're gonna go rapid fire through the bubble as defined by Evanmiya. Just know that this segment is completely inspired by two things. One, I love Evanmiya, that's my guy. Two, this tweet gave a little bit of UNC propaganda ahead of the conference tournaments, and that completely is fueling my agenda here. So Evan tweeted this out on Wednesday morning, the day before that we recorded this. He said some notable resumes as of Wednesday morning, according to resume quality at evanmiya.com. Deserves to be in with a resume quality of greater than 0. North Carolina with a plus zero point 0.5 resume quality. Hang the banner, baby. Our resume quality is higher than 0. Wake Forest at plus zero point 0.4. By the time people listen to this, Wake Forest and UNC will have played in the ACC tournament. Xavier at zero point 0.3. Deserves to be out is Ohio State, who has a negative resume quality. And right on the line is Indiana, who is at 0 resume quality. I just wanted to use that to tee that up. Evan has 10 bubble teams listed here. Resume ranks 41 through 50 per his website. We're going to go rapid fire, and there's two questions. One, do you want to see this team in the tournament? And two, do you think they could even win a game in the tournament?
Ooh, okay. I like this exercise. I
All
like this.
right, so we'll start with the 41st best resume according to Evanmiya. Oklahoma. Do you want Oklahoma in the dance?
So I understand that I'm in the minority here. But when I'm looking at some bubble teams like this, I do want guys that have March like performance stuff to their game. Like if I got asked about Texas, I'd want Texas in because I want to see Trey Johnson. You
Mm-hmm.
asked me about Oklahoma, I want Oklahoma in because I want to see Jeremiah Fears in the NCAA tournament. So yes, I do want them in. They're not winning the game though in the NCAA tournament. I'll tell you that right now.
I think that's how I feel. I know I earlier said who cares about Oklahoma, but I do. I want to see Jeremiah Fears in a March setting, but yeah, I think they get packed up pretty quickly by presumably a 6 seed.
Yeah.
Uh, 42nd best resume per Evan Mia. North Carolina. Do you want to see my heels in the dance, and can they win a game?
I want to see your heels in the dance for your sanity.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you do miss it, would that be 2 times in the last 4 years?
2 times in the last 3 years, Carter.
Two, oh God, that was only the other.
It's
Wow,
insane, bro. It's
that's
insane.
crazy.
Yeah, that should never happen at UNC.
Yeah, that's bad. So like just for sanity optics purposes, I think they do get there, especially because like when we're going through this, I think that North Carolina beats Wake Forest, and they need to do the Lord's work, not to bring the Lord into this, though, Riley. I don't want to see Steve Forbes in the tournament. I'm sorry. That he does not deserve to be there. If UNC doesn't deserve to be there, Wake Forest for sure doesn't deserve to be there. Keep those guys so far away from the NCAA tournament. I'm so serious. So yeah, I think UNC makes it, and I actually would think UNC wins a game. I think they will win a game in the tournament.
I I would of course like to see him in it. Kind of the same thing with Jeremiah Fears. I'd love to see Ian Jackson in March. I'd love to see RJ Davis get one last attempt at it. I think they could maybe beat a 6 seed. Like looking at bracket matrix, if they get in as an 11, get out of Dayton, and they play either Ole Miss, St. Mary's, Illinois, or Louisville. I kind of like the chances against St. Mary's. Like the chances against Illinois. Think both Louisville and Mississippi. I guess I can't even play Louisville in the first round because of like bracket rules with conferences. But yeah, I kind of think Ole Miss would dog them a little bit. I think that Ole Miss defense and their ability to force turnovers scares me. But yeah, there's a chance they could win a game. 43, San Diego State. I do not want to see them in the tournament. I think they could win a game though. Miles Bird is nice.
Yeah, so I don't want to see them in the tournament either because the offense is disgusting. But I do think if they got there, they would actually win a game, a defensive grind fest. They would win a game like
Mm-hmm.
59-50, and we would be so upset we had to watch it and we'd
Yep.
have to sing their praises. San Diego State, one of the few teams to beat Houston this year, early in the non-conference, have a win
That's
over UC
crazy.
San
That's
Diego, have a
crazy.
win over Creighton, like.
It's a pretty good
You
resume.
Yeah, the resume is not bad at all, to be honest with you. There's some yucky losing to UNLV twice is really gross, but like, hey, it is what it is. I don't think they should make it. If they do make it, they will win a game.
think we're going to be aligned on this next one. Wake Forest. I do not want to see them in the dance. No
I
shot
don't
in
want to
hell.
see them at the dance. I don't want to see them at CBI. I don't want to see them at the Crown. I don't want to see them at the NIT. It's over. Stop it.
Get started
Stop
on
it.
the portal, Steve Forbes.
Yes.
Go find your next Tyree Appleby. You get a head start at it this year. Xavier, I lean towards not wanting to see them. I guess Ryan Conwell could be kind of fun. They're just like a boring team to me. Where are you at with them?
So I'm a Musketeer. No three, no three. I love this team.
Maybe they're
I
not
love
boring. Maybe I'm just
I love
asleep.
Conwell. That's really what
Yeah,
it
for
is. I
sure,
love
for sure.
Conwell. I actually love the guard play kind of as a whole. I want Zach Freemantle to move on, but he is there. So I think Xavier should make it. I want them to make it, not should. I want them to be in the tournament. Um, I want them to win a first four game in Dayton, and then I want them to go home.
I didn't realize they've won 7 games in a row. Maybe I'm the problem and they're not as boring as I'm making them out to be. But yeah, I'm with you. They could win a first 4 game, but that's about it. Moving on to Arkansas. This Arkansas season needs to end. I don't want to see them in the dance. I know they're going to get there, but yeah, this team, they're not fun. They underachieved. I'm good on the DJ Wagner led backcourt.
For the good of this channel, I want Arkansas to make it and win more tournament games than Kentucky. That's kind of where I'm coming from. But no, I think in all reality, this Arkansas season was not a fun one, not a good one. If this team limps into the tournament, I don't think they even win a game, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. So I think that's kind of is. I don't think I honestly don't want to see them in the tournament.
Number 47, Indiana. Do you want to see them in the tournament?
No.
I do for the Mike Woodson storyline.
Mike Woodson making a tournament run would be the end of me.
But imagine how much content the channel would get out of it.
That's true. Also, like it would be fun to have the conversation on like, does Woodson come back if he just keeps winning?
Yes. Yes, that would be hilarious. I would love that bit of chaos. Uh don't think they win a game. Moving to A10 land at number 48 VCU.
All right, so I'm gonna show a little A10 naiveness here. I tap it with my Ramblers a lot, and I do watch a good amount of A10 basketball. For some reason, like VCU just kind of went by me a little bit this year. Do they still got Shugel and or was it Shulga?
Shulga, they got Zeb Jackson. They
They
have Jack
still
Clark.
have those guys. Is Joe Bama
Yes.
still on this team?
Yes, he is.
What the dog?
I actually believe it's pronounced Bamacili too, which is kind
Damn.
of fun.
Okay, that's also fun.
Final
Yeah,
four
I want this team in.
Final four Bamacili. Final four Bamacili face. Let's get VCU in the dance.
I'm with it. Get them in the dance, and I think if they get there, they win a game actually too.
I actually do too. The A10 has fared well in the first round of the tournament
Yeah,
recently. Uh, UC Irvine and UC San Diego. We'll lump them together at 49 and 50.
I want them in, and I do think that they could win a game.
Yeah, throw them both in. Why not? The
Yeah,
bubble, like, do we really need
like
mid?
honestly,
Put my mid power conference team in. Don't put any of the other ones in there. Just
right,
give us UC San Diego.
this leads me to a great point here. I don't want to fight for Wake Forest to be in here. I don't want to fight for Arkansas to be in here. Just let these guys go and
Yeah,
try to get a win. They're better teams, I think.
with you on that.
Yeah, easy.
That's it. Shout out to Evan for the resume metrics.
Shout out to my dog Maradona. One big thing presented by Riley's biceps. Riley.
Yeah, my one big thing this week. I know we started out with a bunch of talk about our own kids. The Davis family at large, meaning my sister, my extended family, she and her husband, they welcomed their first child this week. They had a little boy
Hey.
named Thomas. So I actually think they might tap into the program from time to time. I know my brother-in-law has some friends that listen, so just know they're getting a shout out if you hear this. But yeah, shout out to my sister and her husband Nate and their baby boy Thomas. I'm excited to be an uncle.
Hey, oh, is this their first time being an uncle? Is it
Yeah, so Theo's been the only grandchild on both sides, so now until now. So
Theo's the only grand was the so how are we gonna break to Theo that he's not the only one in the
yeah, he's gonna miss getting all the attention, but
oh
I think he'll get along with Thomas well. So
shout out to Thomas. That's I want to be an uncle real bad. I got friends who have kids who I kind of act like they call me Uncle Cat, but like
yep,
I'm not
same.
actually their uncle. So congrats to your sister. That's awesome. Uh Is the middle name Riley? Did she honor you?
She did not. His middle name is Nathaniel, which is Nate, her husband's full name. So,
All right. I mean, I guess I respect that somewhat. All right. My one big thing for today. First I want to ask you, Riley, when it comes to buying things for the young one, do you like does it know any bounds? I don't know if this because I asked this because of this. I was never before like a Temu buyer. Do you know what Temu is?
I'm aware of Timu.
Yeah, I was never a Temu buyer until I realized that one, kids grow fast as hell, and two, if you lock in on Temu, you can actually get some really nice like onesies and stuff like that, that are really good quality actually if you know how to operate, and they're very cheap. I know I feel a little bit bad inside about what's going on as far as labor with that stuff, but honestly,
Hmm.
kid stuff's really expensive. But the bad part about this is my wife is locked in. She's focused. She's like, okay, I'm going to get onesies. Onesies, he needs onesies. She asked me to go on the Temu and get some onesies. I'm coming with onesies and anything else I see. And one of the things I saw was a dancing cactus. And let me tell you, this thing slaps. Let me go ahead and give you a little thing here. First of all, it has all different types of song settings on it that it can dance to, and it's got some great tunes. But my favorite part about it is that it repeats after you. Like, watch this. Hold on. Hello? Every single March, Steve Forbes lets down Wake Forest.
Single March Steve Forbes lets down Wake Forest.
Tune in to Sleepers Media every single day on the Sleepers Media YouTube channel.
Tune in to Sleepers Media every single day on the Sleepers Media YouTube channel.
Like, come on, this goes crazy. And he dances too. Look.
Incredible.
I mean, so shout out to Timu for this. The only thing I wish I could do is upload my own music. Like if this could be Bluetooth and I could have him dancing to that new Drake, "Give Me a Hug," that'd be most ideal. But yeah, shout out to Timu. I think the little guy enjoyed just watching this cactus kind of dance around a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Dude, look at the moves on him. All right,
Incredible.
that's about
Appreciate that,
enough of
Clark.
that.
Great,
That
hey, great
that
show. Great
that
show.
that that'll do it for today. For Riley Fridays. Make sure you tune in every Friday to see the great Riley. And as always, appreciate everyone tuning in. We'll catch y'all next time.